Hi everyone. It's the film and TV review thing, that we have every week. See that? I watched last night a fantastic series, two episodes, and but you've got to be into this kind of genre thing. You've got to be into it. My advice is watch it. I'll be telling you a little bit about it when I bring Lee Carson up. And there he is here. He's too busy looking at whatever he's looking at. And there he is. Good morning.
I found my granddad's encyclopedia, which is what got me into books. My granddad died in 1984, but I found it. Remember I told you about that picture, Salvador Dali?
Yeah.
And it wasn't the words, it was get on that for a picture. It represents the Spanish Civil War. It's a sculpture by Salvador Dali representing
Brilliant.
the Spanish Civil War. I saw
Yeah,
that.
can you lift it up a little bit, are you? So I can see it. Oh, that's brilliant.
I can't see it. I can't see. Can you see it good?
Yeah, I can see it. Just hold it like that. That's absolutely brilliant.
Isn't it lovely?
Yeah.
I must have been about. My granddad always used to test me on capital cities when I was little, because I was dead good in school. When I was little, I was like a straight A student. If I got a B, it was a big deal. And I had a cob on if I got a B in anything in junior school. But then when I went to high school, it all ended because me tackle dropped and I lost interest and my concentration went. And that was it for me, really. But doesn't mean you're not an intelligent person, you know what I mean? I'm reasonably well read for a peasant, you know what I mean? If anyone wants to chat about films, books, or music, I'm your man. Poetry too.
Yeah.
Well, music and poetry are related, aren't they? Poetry and music and poetry go together. And so do books. It's storytelling with music. It's storytelling set to music. With books, it's just storytelling without the music. Same thing, same difference. And obviously, the best lyricists are great poets like Morrissey, Marky Smith. I love from The Fall. The Fall with John Peel's favourite band. Anyway, I've got a film for you. Anyway, I've just finished watching a film. But,
well, anyway, I like poetry, by the way. Didn't know that.
I've always liked poetry. I used to write it when I was a teenager.
You don't let me finish, do you?
No, sorry. Sorry.
I like poetry myself, to be honest.
Here's the other picture that got me into.
No comment, no nothing, and there you go.
Sorry, there's the other picture. It's Redon's Cyclops. Can you see that? Redon's Cyclops.
Yeah, the big eye, yeah.
Yeah, he's looking down at a little man sleeping on a mountainside.
Yeah.
Can you see that? He's looking down at a little man. Yeah. I must have been about 6. That and the Salvador Dali thing got me into books. Sorry, Frank. I'll shut up now.
Give up. I give up.
Sorry,
you show me something. I try to.
Sorry.
Just carry on. Yeah. I was only going to say that, the way the picture is, the person is lying. He's obscure from the Cyclops, the one-eyed monster.
The thing with the Cyclops is it's smiling. Yeah, I can't see. What can you see it there? It's smiling.
Yeah.
The Cyclops looks like it's doing a little smile, and it buzzed off that.
Anyway, Taz Reynolds. Morning, Frank. Hope you're well today, mate. Nice to see you on Aussies last night. Yeah, I couldn't see any of the comments, to be honest. If you commented, I would have acknowledged you, as I always do, Taz. Which is, it was good. He's a nice fella, Ozzy. I hope to have him on my podcast at some point, because there's one tonight. I don't know whether JK will have him on. I just don't know. It's up to him, because I don't know the links or anything. So he might be on tonight. I mentioned early as it came on about I seen a two-part television program last night,
Mm.
and but you've got to be in the genre of what you've got to be into the genre of what I was watching,
Okay.
and I advise everybody to watch this, including you and JK and even Daz Reynolds. And it was only two episodes. Two episodes. Brilliant. And do you know what it was?
No.
It was about football.
Mm-hmm.
And a team played Luton. And it wasn't so good in the first episode, but the second episode was absolutely devastating. Brilliant. You still haven't a clue what I'm talking about, do you?
No, you told me, yeah.
It was the match last night. It's humour. Did you ever have any humour in your school, by the way?
I know, yeah. I do remember the match last night.
You were A students and there wasn't have been any humour.
Sorry, I got lost there, but yeah, well, I finished off True Detective, the new True Detective, and it was quite good at the end. The scientists were killed by the Inuit women because they killed an Inuit woman who smashed up their research. She was like having an affair with one of the young scientists at the place in Alaska, and they wouldn't have killed her, but she smashed up all their painstaking work, and they killed her, and that's what the mystery was about. But they all got killed themselves by the. They were talking about it's an Inuit legend of people just walk out to their deaths across the ice and into the water. Women would be affected by this terrible malady, a mental malady, an illness, and they'd won off the planet. And it's an old Inuit legend, and it was good at the end. I rewatched the last two episodes, and it was decent at the end. The new True Detective, I'm giving it a decent mark. Not as good as the early ones, but still good.
Well, can I come on? Can I say something? Tell you something. I go back to my teens, late teens, and our Michael, he got barred out of the house because we were sitting there watching the telly. And he used to come in and go, he did it. So whenever you were watching a film or anything, he did it. That was the end of the film. And you've just given away the end of the series.
Yeah, I haven't given away much. I haven't.
You've just given away the end of
There's 6 episodes to watch, and you find out at the beginning of the first episode what's happening. That it's an Inuit
what's happening? Yeah, I've seen the first episode, but I didn't know who. It's like reading, but I do literature every Wednesday morning, right? And what we're reading now is this here, right? Josephine Shea, and it's a murder mystery. And it's an historical murder mystery. And it was the 2 princes that were murdered in the tower.
Oh, yeah.
All the fingers pointed to Richard III, right? Richard III. So this is what this is about. And if you didn't know who this is what I'm saying. If you didn't know who Richard III was and you were watching a series and about these 2 young kids being murdered, apparently, allegedly, if you know what I mean. And if I turn around, I go, well, I'm a historian and Richard II killed him. You see what I mean? The book would be no good reading because you know who did it. A series, if it was a series, it'd be no good looking at it, because what's in your mind is he did it. You'd be looking at the character. He did it. He did it. And that's
Yeah.
all I'm saying. You do a review. What a review is, you talk about, you give a small synopsis about, for example, I was watching something the other day, I forget the bloody title, and it's on YouTube. And uh, as I was watching it, it was Donald Sutherland was the main star. He was the main star. Anne Archer played his wife, and Paul Freeman, a great British actor,
Yeah.
English, Paul Freeman, and another fellow by the name, another veteran, Bernard Hepton. He played this, like, I tell you, it was set in, and I advise people to watch this. It was set in Poland during the Cold War.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like when there was a Soviet Union.
Mm-hmm.
And he played one of these top-ranking Politburo people. And Bernard Hepton played the chairman.
Okay.
The chairman of the Politburo, so the chairman of everything, over Poland. And Paul Freeman played a friend of this Politburo.
Yeah.
I don't know what he did, but he was high up. Donald Sutherland's character was high up. High up. But you don't know what he does, if you know what I mean. But he's loyal to the party. He's loyal to his country. He's loyal to everything. He's loyal to everything. And it goes a little bit skew with. And Paul Freeman plays his mate, and he says, try and find out what's happening. Because all of a sudden he goes into work one day. His car's not there that picks him up, because he's a leading member of the Politburo. So he looks out of his window, and his car's not there that picks him up, his chauffeur-driven car. So his wife says, take my car, I'll just walk to work. So he says, okay. So he goes to work, gets to where he is in the Politburo, and they say to him, where's your identity? And he said, you know who I am. He said, where's your identity? So he shows the identity, and it's taken up him. And that's where it starts. That's where it starts.
Have you ever watched Andrei Tarkovsky films, the Russian director? He's one of the most famous Russian directors.
Can I finish?
Hmm?
Thank you.
Sorry.
Thank you so much for letting me finish. So anyway, if there's people out there and they want to watch a good film, and like what it was like during the Cold War, without any American interference or British interference or whatever, just watch this film. It's very good.
What's it called?
I'll find out the God blimey, I forget the bloody title, would you believe?
Well, if you want a film made by someone who actually grew up in the socialist Soviet state, try Andrei Tarkovsky's films like Mirror. That's him as a child in the Soviet state. There's no Americanisms in it. There's nothing in it. There's nothing about war in it. It's just him growing up in the Soviet state as a child and his memories of it. There's Ivan's Childhood as well, which is a boy who, when the Nazis invade Russia, he worked for them a bit to keep alive. He's only a little boy. He's only about 10. Ivan's Childhood. Brilliant, brilliant film. Master director Andrei Tarkovsky. But I love the overarching themes of socialism, of childhood, of relative poverty because nobody had much money. He grew up with very much in the Soviet state. But were they happy? He seemed happy as a child in the Soviet state. That's all I can say. Watch the
Well, the
films.
thing is, you've only got to look at it. Any child in any country, they grow up happy. They just grow up because you can go to the darkest place in Africa where there's droughts upon droughts, and they know no better, and yet they're happy, and they're happy. There used to be an advertisement where you see this little child, and she gets up at 5 o'clock every month, just only an advertisement, asking you for money to support irrigation in Africa. And you just see this child walking every morning to get water. Now, they're happy. They are happy. She walks 5 miles a day there and 5 miles back. So that's 10 miles a day, carrying water. And the point is, any child is happy. Any child. So I could do a film in the reaches of jungles in Borneo or something, and you see these children, they're all playing around. I've seen it in there when they've gone into the Amazon and see these kids playing. You just see them playing.
They're in their own environment.
So they know nothing what's outside, if you know what I mean. That's why I've always said.
Right. You're exactly right, Frank.
That's why I've always said, we take things for granted ourselves. But that's the way it is. That's the way it is, unfortunately. Anyway, just say good morning. Daz Reynolds says, Frank, when are you on Jamie's? Having a clue. I was looking for him last night, to see if he had a post-match pod. Didn't, unfortunately. I was looking for him last night. I just don't know, Daz. Charlie Wood. Good morning, chaps. I keep forgetting you're on. I keep forgetting myself, to be honest, Charlie. Darryl. Buzzing. You know why he's buzzing, don't you? And morning, Frankie and Lee. Thank you, Tony, and 2 thumbs up for us. I'm glad he hasn't given us any pints. We don't drink first thing of the morning. But anyway.
I used to.
Oh, right, okay. So never drank of the morning, ever. Anyway, Lee, what have you watched lately? And I'll tell you what I've watched.
Well, I've just watched a film by. Did you ever see The In-Betweeners? The comedy thing about the kids in school.
Loved it. I was one of them. And it reminded me of me and a couple of mates.
Yeah. Well, yeah. This is Days of the Bagnall Summer, made by Simon Baird, the one with the glasses, out of The In-Betweeners. It's a charming little coming-of-age comedy with Ale Cave, who I think might be Nick Cave's son. Do you know Nick Cave, the musician?
Yeah.
I think it might be his son, because I was looking at the lad's face thinking he does look like Nick Cave. Anyways, a heavy metal loving teenager is forced to spend the summer with his boring old mum, Monica Dolan. And it's just him being it, because I was into heavy metal when I was that age. That was my music in school. I didn't get into like mellow stuff until after I'd left school, really. In school, I was into AC/DC, Iron Maiden, then Metallica, Megadeth, Slayer, Anthrax. And they're all into these bands in this film.
What about Black Sabbath? Was you into that?
Yeah, I love Sabbath, Paranoia.
Great.
He's got long hair. Now, when I was into heavy metal, I never grew my hair or wore like patches. My mates used to have Iron Maiden patches, but they had skinheads anyway in school because they were all in cadets, to go in the army after school. So none of my heavy metal mates had long hair. That's no big deal. It's just the way it was in them days. I didn't want long hair in school, but it's a nice little story. Nice little story from Simon Baird, who's a funny guy. He's a funny guy. It's well written. It's quite tender and wistful. And there you go. Days of the Bagnalled Summer. Check it out if you haven't seen it.
Oh, there's a thing there. Look at this. Greg Toland. G'day, Frank. I'm a fan from way back. Over to you, Frank. He's from Australia. There's Greg.
Oh, nice one.
He used to get up at 6 o'clock in the morning and watch the Ordinary Show. He watched the Ordinary Show, and one that was freezing, absolutely freezing here one evening, and it was freezing, minus millions. It was absolutely freezing, and he gets up and I'm talking about, how cold it was, and people could comment how cold it was, and Greg said, 6 o'clock in the morning here, he said 30, 35 degrees as I woke up to, So, good to see you there, Greg. Good to see you.
Dedication, Frank. That's dedication, mate.
Yes, but the only downside to Greg is that he's an Evertonian.
So's me dad, Greg. My dad supports Everton, and he lives upstairs in the flat above me.
So, right, so I've mentioned this film that I watched, which is good, which is very, very good. But you've got to be into. It's a good little storyline. That's what I'm saying. It's a good storyline, even right to the end. Right to the end. It's sort of a mystery thing as well. It's sort of a mystery thing as well. So anyway, that's that film. I will get it. I will get it up. And JK is just messaged.
JK's got dedication. Like that song from Record Breakers years ago. Dedication's what you need. Yeah. You want to be the best and you want to beat the rest. Dedication's what you need.
Is this a musical review?
I know, yeah. I'm dipping back into my childhood to Record Breakers with Norris McWhirter and Roy Castle.
He says, couldn't get back in time for the show. This is now. And I'll be okay for tonight, though. I'll just say, okay, JK. I'm sorry about this, people. I've got to get back to them. Yeah, so he's got that message. Don't forget, God blimey, where's he gone now? He always leaves. And Greg says, it's 10 a.m. here now, and it's only 25 degrees. It can't be 10 a.m. It can't be 10 p.m. because we're like the 10 p.m. You're right, it's 10 a.m. over there. You're 12 hours ahead of us, Greg. It's nighttime. It's nighttime in your place, whereas it's daytime here. So I was watching that particular Politburo film. It's really good. Have a look at it. As I said, it's a mysterious one. Good stars in it, as I mentioned. Donald Sutherland, Anne Archer, Paul Freeman, Bernard Epton, and a fella named Anthony Bates as well, another British stalwart actor. It's very good. It really is.
Paul Freeman was Indiana Jones's nemesis, wasn't he, in the Indiana Raiders of the Lost Ark, Belloc,
yeah.
Bench, archaeologist. That's Paul Freeman, isn't it? Good character actor. I watched one recently with him where his son had committed suicide at about 20, and he was trying to find out the reasons why, but I've forgotten its name. It was okay.
Yeah. But have you noticed when you mentioned Raiders of the Lost Ark, and he played a really nasty Nazi, didn't he? Now, that
did.
nasty Nazi was, they're all British, our American friends. They always put the British as the nasty, the nasty people. The nasty people. Because, I don't know why, Anthony Hopkins, one of the greatest actors of all time, played Hannibal Lecter. Anthony Hopkins, Hannibal Lecter. You can't be having that. And there's an American here.
He was great in that, where he goes, "Love your suit," to that senator, the female senator. "Love your suit." And then says something very awful like after it. No, before it.
And Dennis Paparak says, "Morning, gents." And he's all the way from Tampa. So we've got international, we've got Australian and American. And morning, Dennis, by the way, morning. And here's a cuppa for the both of you. Be a later, lads. Says Tony LFC. Tony LFC. But anyway, so you're going to watch that series, that 2-episode series that are mentioned at the beginning of the show.
Yeah, what's it called?
It's called Anfield.
Oh, I thought you were going back to the bloody thingy then. You got me again then.
No.
I thought you were talking about Donald Sutherland. That's a film, innit? That went 2 parts. Donald Sutherland. Hey, did you see the death?
No, Donald Sutherland's a proper film. It's a film, and you can get it on YouTube.
Yeah.
It's really good. It really is. What's the bloody name? 2-word name. I will get it. If I don't get it I will get it later. And if you're watching the football show tonight, I'll give it out. Promise.
Did you watch the black comedy, The Death of Stalin? That film about 4 years ago?
I wanted to watch that. And for some reason, I didn't get to watch it. I didn't get it. Was it good?
Very good, yeah. Very good. I think it was David Suchet who used to play Poirot. He's what's his name? It begins with B. He was Jewish. It begins with B, and he was one of the ones, who did Stalin's pages. What's his name? Beria. You've heard of him?
I was going to say Biden.
Beria.
So it wasn't
You've heard
Biden.
of him, haven't you? Beria. It sounds like you're saying berry hair. Beria. Beria, I think. Must be Jewish.
Sounds French.
He's Jewish anyway. I think it's David Suchet plays him, who used to be Poirot. And he's funny in it. Like they're all funny in it. Like it's a good film. Like.
So what was you talking about? Did you ever watch The In-Betweeners? No, why do you drink a lot of water, Lee? Because you're always getting up every 2 minutes to go to Lee.
Keep my voice from going croaky, because there's still smoke. I get a croaky voice and I can go. I don't want people to listen to me go. I want my voice, my larynx to be lubricated. I've also got some cough medicine on the table there, just in case.
Anyway, Arthur Schofield says, "Morning, Frankie and Lee. Enjoy." Says Arthur Schofield. And Dennis says, did you guys get the Monsieur Spade miniseries? Clive Owen, like Clive Owen, Big Red as well, Clive Owen. Just watched the 6th and final installment Monday night. Was really good. Do you know what I like? I'm glad you mentioned that, Dennis. I'm really glad you mentioned that because I like Clive Owen, and if it's a mini series and there's only the 6 episodes, I'll watch that. But I'll watch that back to back. I'll watch that in a day. Like I've watched lots of series in a day back to back. But there are some series, Dennis, and you, Lee. Oh, there's my fiance there. I've just seen her name come up. Anyway, I'll watch that, Dennis. I will watch that. I certainly will watch it because there are many series, as I mentioned, that are worth watching. And if you watch it, and the first episode grabs your attention, I tend to watch the follow-up and bang. I've watched many a series in a day, but they only have to be between 6 and 8 episodes. I don't follow seasons. I do not follow them. The very first series of Ozark, brilliant. And there's another series, if you haven't caught it, it's this my fiance. She's reminding me because she's put a ring up as well. Anyway, I've got the giggles now. Anyway, what we have, I don't know what it's about. You've got Ozark, right? So fantastic. Jason Bateman. I like Jason Bateman. I think he's a great actor. He can play comedy and he can play dramatic parts and mysterious parts. But also, he's in a thing, Lee, and if you haven't seen it, my advice is watch it. And it's called The Outsider.
Oh, yeah, I've seen it. Brilliant.
Isn't that brilliant? I'm glad you've seen that. I'm glad you've seen it. Because it's really, and if you haven't seen it, people, have a look at it. The Outsider. It's very, very good. You've got to watch it from the beginning, right from the beginning. And Arthur Schofield says, listening about movies, past and present. Yes. And TV series.
The Outside Stephen King story, isn't it?
Yeah.
Everyone likes Stephen King, don't they?
Yes. And there's my lovely fiance. And it's Jean Grey. She says, Jean Grey marked it. No, Jean, you mark one to me. Mark one, my lovely girl. And she says, good morning, Frank, Lee, and chat. What a beautiful morning. 100%. The big heart for me and the lovely prayers are for me. And JK keeps sending me messages. Can you hear the pinging? Some people, they ping me at 2 o'clock, 2:30, 3 o'clock, 3:30, 4 o'clock, 4:45, 4:15, 4:10, and this is AM when I'm in bed trying to dream of Jean. And there she is. She's laughing her little head off.
I dream of Jeannie.
Yes, yeah, that's it. I dream. That's what I mean. They keep waking me up with these pings when I'm dreaming of Jeannie. But anyway, well done, Jeannie. Watch the podcast tonight, all about the match last night, and it'll be also a preview of Sunday's game. So watch it tonight, Jean. I want to see you there. You're my fiance, and if you're not there, I feel ashamed. because we should be together on the same show. So you better watch me. Anyway, Dennis Paparak. Really enjoyed Owen's interpretation of the post-Maltese Falcon era Sam Spade, the character development and story. Art does Bogart proud. The Maltese Falcon was brilliant. And when you get the likes of Sidney Greenstreet and Peter Lorre, two of the finest actors. Did you know much about Sidney Greenstreet, by the way?
No, I know less about him than Peter Lorre and the rest of the people in it.
Yeah. Well, Sidney Greenstreet was an English stage actor.
Mm-hmm.
Is this a dagger I see before me? You know, there is something rotten in the state of Denmark. All these little Shakespeare things. Anyway, yeah, so I'll have a look at that. In fact, what's it called again? Oh, jeez, why doesn't this work for me?
I did see it slip by. What was it?
No. Oh, yeah.
Something Spade.
Monsieur Spade. I'll watch that, Dennis. I'll definitely. I mightn't be able to watch it today, but I'll definitely watch it over the weekend. Yes. Yes, I will. I'll watch it. Charlie Woods. I've read the book, The Outsider. Great story. Says Charlie. There you go. And he's actually read the book. And there's my darling there, and she's little laughies and little kisses for Frank and little love hearts. And I've got you, hon. I don't know what to say. And Karinda Marley. Hey guys, I love to have you guys on my podcast, says Karinda Marley. Send some details, Karinda. Yes. Send some details. Hey guys, I'd love to have you. Hey guys,
yeah,
I'd love to have you guys.
I'll do a podcast for you.
Yeah, of course. And lovely Jean. Frank Carlyle. Talking shows and movies. Have you watched? Yes. Do you know what? I do an English literature class every Wednesday morning. And they're all ex-professional. Some of them are ex-teachers and whatever. Anyway, I do this. We've all stuck together. And this is what we're reading at the moment. This new one here. Anyway, they were talking about TV shows. You know, they were just having a discussion, and they mentioned Kin. Now, what you've just mentioned there, Gene, is highly recommended. And these ex-professionals, they loved it as well. But try and catch on, please, Gene. Monsieur Spade, that Dennis Paparak, Clive Owen, big red he is as well, a big red. I've seen him at the match a few times, you know. I've seen him there. And he's a big red, and Monsieur Spade is highly recommended by Dennis Paparak. I need to know when Dennis is coming over. I really need. And when Karinda, we said, yeah, send us details, she said, I will do. And she says to me, do you have an email? Yes. Will I be able to give you? Well, I can't write it out on here because I get hacked. I'm not saying by these lovely people that they know me. these don't act me, but if it goes on all over YouTube and everything else, Corinda, it goes out. I've been hacked loads of times. Not only that, but the other night, I was nearly, well, there was a scam, and they pretended to be my daughter by saying, "Hey, Dad, I've lost my phone, and this is my new number. Can you ring me, or no, can you text me?" Right. So I texted her, and she said, "I need money, Dad. I'm desperate. I'm in debt and all this." And she's in debt. So anyway, I don't argue. I don't, anything for my daughter. So I said, "Well, what do you need?" And she said, "Oh, Dad, I can't just give you out a thing." I said, "Okay." I said, "Would a couple of grand do?" And she said, "Oh, Dad," and here's what she said. Here's what she said, Lee. She said, "Oh, Dad, you are the best." Now, my daughter never, ever, ever says that.
Are you sure it wasn't Tina Turner? Simply the best. Dun, dun, dun.
Can I finish? But anyway, I said, "Hang on." So I phoned Francine. There she's saying that she's, it's in the repair shop because she broke it. So that's a new phone number. So I phoned Francine, and Francine answered right away. She said, "Hiya, Dad." I said, "Have you sent me a message?" And she went, "When?" I said, "Never mind." And she said, "You're being scammed. You are being scammed." And she gave me a number to phone up my bank. This is 11:30 in the night. So I phones up, and there was a lad on. He said, "Oh, you're a Scouser?" I said, "Yeah." And he said, "Oh, great." And he was a Scouser himself and a Liverpool fan. And he came on last week. He commented on the pod because I said I'd do the pod. And, that lad, he blocked everything. And I mean everything. He said, "Don't be worrying. Nothing will get through." He said, "Did you give them any details?" I said, "No." I said, "No." But anyway, you've got to be careful, people, of all these bloody scams.
I give you my email over Facebook, didn't I, Frank? I did it on Messenger on Facebook, so Jason could email me to do your shows, didn't I?
Yes.
Just going to quickly move this on.
Right, Paul Burke says, "Morning, boys. Watched the great movie, True Story, The Upside Down. Worth a watch." Is that what it's called, Paul? The Upside Down? I like true stories. And Ian McHale says, "Morning, gents. Donald Sutherland, a great actor." Yes. And the show, says the lovely Jane, the show is wicked. I'd recommend. Yeah, that's Ken you're talking about, isn't it, Jane? It's Ken. Yes. I'm glad that people, get into a series and recommend it. This is what we try to do, recommend series. But Gene, watch The Outsider. Please watch it, Gene. If you haven't seen it, Jason Bateman and Ben Mendelsohn, absolutely fantastic. Watch it. The Outsider. And Gene says,
I love Ben Mendelsohn. Isn't he a good actor, Ben Mendelsohn?
And Karinda Marley says, "Right, so I'll send you I'll send you my email through Messenger, Karinda. Okay.
Send a mine as well, Frank.
I won't. Okay then, because Jane will get jealous of me if you don't get involved.
I've always got something to say, haven't I, Frank? About
You never
anything.
bloody stop. Never stop. You're not going to believe this one here, Lee. You're not going to. This is a cricket. Do you know when you're saying simply the best, better than all the rest? Hey, you know when you're there? Get onto this. Tina, who's she?
Tina Tuna. I think she's our fish, isn't she, Tina Tuna? Yeah, she's a mermaid, Tina Tuna. Or she feeds on tuna, something like that. Honest to God.
Do you know what I do with tuna?
Mayo.
I do the best summer pasta in the world. You know, like the Italian, we did it, like as I was growing up, and my mum, she used to do it. She was the Italian, you see, fantastic. My grandmother. And I have a recipe, family recipe, that goes back to the days in Italy when everyone was starving, in southern Italy, because of the droughts and everything else. So this family recipe came over with me mother, and my grandparents and aunties and uncles and
The Italians know how to cook, don't they, Frank? So did my mum and nan, actually. My nan used to make lovely homemade cakes, like apple pies, cherry pies, and sponge cakes. My nan was brilliant with pastry and filling.
Do you know what? What growing up, honestly, people go, "Oh, behave yourself." I said, "No." Tiramisu for the pudding. We used to have, going back years. What used to be playing in our house as well was Caruso, Nessun Dorma. Puccini's Nessun Dorma used to play. And I remember it was the Italia World Cup, and my mates used to say, "Oh, look at that! You see that big fat fella singing?" I said, that forget his name, can't pronounce his name. I said, Pavarotti, his name, and he went, "Yeah." And they said, "Have you seen that? Have you heard that song? Did he write that song, or who wrote it?" I said, "No." I said, "There was a fella by the name of Puccini." He said, "Who's he?" I said, "Oh, you go back to the 1800s. That's when that was written. 1890s. Yeah, behave yourself." It's just great.
Yeah, I like a bit of opera and classical. Like, especially as I'm getting older, I like opera and classical more now that I'm older.
I've always loved me classical. I grew up with it, I grew up with me opera and classical music. And of course, the Beatles. Anyway, Paul Beck says, no, the upside. Did I say upside down? I'm sorry, Paul. Yes, the upside. Yes. We'll get onto that, Paul. Thank you so much, Paul. Thank you. I seen Frequency. Have you seen that film? Says Karinda Mali. Yeah, Mali. Yes, Karinda. Yes, I've seen Frequency. Very good. I've got an answer.
I've not seen Frequency. Can you flesh it out for us, Corinda, with a few, tell me in text there what it's about, Frequency?
Okay. And Jean Grey said that she will watch The Outsider. You've got to watch it, Jean.
Brilliant, Jean. Brilliant series.
You will watch it. Fantastic. It grips you from the beginning, doesn't it, Lee? Charlie Wood says Donald Sutherland is in the new Western Bass Reeves, or is that Bass Reeves? Good series.
Remember, Don't Look Now.
Jean Grey says, Frank Carlyle, a few has come up. What year was it made? It was only made a couple of years ago, Gene.
The
Gene,
outside, it was about 3 years
can,
back.
can I explain something, please? Lee, let me
Sorry.
finish. It's not about, it's trying to explain, because what she's looking, if you see a poster, what you'll see, Gene, you'll see a tree, it's all grey, grim. You see a tray with no leaves at all, and a little bit of a lake, and you see the reflection of the tree in the lake, and you just see a figure standing there, and that's the outsider. What was you going to say, Lee?
Yeah, it's a really good series. Like it puts the winds up you pretty early on, because stuff like that, it doesn't scare me. I'm not the type to get
No, no,
scared,
no.
but I love stuff that is menacing and it's
Yeah,
supernatural. It's menacing in a supernatural way. I know
yeah.
you probably like a bit of the supernatural, Gene, like all of us do, and this is good, really good.
It is, Gene. It's, as Lee said, it's really good, and it is menacing. It really is. I'll tell you another series to watch, people, is Your Honor. Your
Mm,
Honor,
mm.
with Bryan Cranston. Now, Bryan Cranston's a cracking actor, really good actor. And that's another good series to watch, Your Honor. So let me know, Jane, if you can get that little poster up. You know, when you like things are coming up the outside. It's only made a couple of years ago, by the way. Let me know if you get that poster where it says where you see a dead tree, as I call it, with no leaves, a figure, and the reflection I think it's like that, yeah. So let me know if you've got it, because it's well worth a look, Gene. Believe me. And if you can't watch it, you'll have to come to me. We'll sit on the couch and we'll watch it together. And I'll make you a cup of tea. That should say Western, says Charlie Wood. And Dennis says, favourite World War II film? Kelly's Heroes, yes. Stalag 17, yes. Bridge at Remagen. Now, do you know what? That Bridge at Remagen is it's a George Segal. And I tell you who's is in it, and he's brilliant in it. Robert Vaughn. You know, the man from Uncle, remember?
Mm-hmm.
Now, did you know that Robert Vaughn was a genius?
He did have a certain smug look on his face, like there could be a big IQ hiding
Yeah,
in
yeah.
there,
And
didn't
he's
he?
got, yeah, same IQ as me.
So
And
slightly below mine then.
I couldn't believe it when, his IQ came up. I went, I must be a genius because I've got the same IQ as him.
Does your head in when you meet people who are as smart as you, don't it, Frank? You're like, what's this? What's this business? Who's this? Who's this fella? Bet you he went to like university and that. Swine.
You can have a very, excuse me, you can have a big IQ, but be as daft as a brush. Believe
Yeah.
me. He's not too, but he was a genius, by the way.
Prime example was the guy who wrote the Narnia books, The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe, C.S. Lewis. He failed his driving test about 15, 20 times. And he was like a massive intellectual. Like, he used to sit off with all the others, like Tolkien, and talk in the pub. Massive intellectual. He was terribly incompetent with technology, with cars. He couldn't make them work. But like, he's a bona fide, genuine intellectual of some renown, was C.S. Lewis.
Could you imagine going back to 15, 1592? Let's say 1592. right? And you go into an inn, and in a corner, you got 3 or 4 fellas sitting there talking, and you sit by them. You get your flag and the mead or whatever, and you're sitting there and you're drinking, and you're listening to these fellas here, right? And those in conversation, imagine these: Christopher Marlowe, Cyril Tourneur, William Shakespeare, and they're
Heavyweight.
talking about. Could you imagine that conversation?
Of course, I could imagine me being in it and not shutting up, asking them questions.
Do you know what? You took the words out of my mouth because you wouldn't shut up. All right, lads, you'd say, wouldn't you? But anyway, let's get back to what Dennis said. Yeah, the Bridge at Remagen. Favourite westerns: Blazing Saddles, The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. I'm very surprised that you never mentioned in that genre of westerns, Dennis, the Wild Bunch. The Wild Bunch was the best of the best. That's in my opinion. The Wild Bunch. And the gunfight at the OK Corral with Kirk and Bert.
If I'm honest, by the time I was born, westerns, they weren't dying out. They were on telly all the time, but I wasn't massive on them. I watched like Clint Eastwood ones and that. But as I've got older, I've watched more older westerns, black and white westerns and that. Because when I was a kid, I would see them, and I like the Clint Eastwood ones and a few others. But it's as I've got older that I look at them more now.
Well, there's another film as well in the Western genre, and that's what's the bloody name of that? Hang on a minute. I'm just trying to think what it is. I'll tell you who's in it. Woodsy Strode, a black actor who never gets any credit. Woodsy Strode. Lee Marvin, Burt Lancaster, Claudia Cardinelli.
Oh, Claudia
Mamma
Cardinale.
mia. Whoa. Claudia. Oh, man. Well, it's not Claudia, it's Claudia. That's how you pronounce the Italian way. Claudia.
Born in
Claudia
North
Cardinale. Anyway, she
Born in
was
North Africa, Frank. Claudia Cardinale. Italian, but born in North Africa, Claudia Cardinale.
yeah, because her dad was there. Yeah, I know. He was one of those emissaries. Italian. Italian. Jack Palance was in it as well. Jack Palance. Cracking film. And that was a great.
Jack Palance, he's got the baddie's face, hasn't he? It's
oh,
like, pick up the gun. Pick up the gun. I don't want to pick up the gun. Pick up the gun or I'll shoot you. Picks the gun up. The guy's got a gun and shoots him.
And did you see the way he moves backwards when he shoots him? Goes right across, doesn't he?
Yeah.
You know, our bullet would hit you. You would go back like that.
Yeah.
The power of the bullet. Anyway, Ian McHale says, Frank Lee, have you seen a film 2005 called Yes? Eric Bana. You never heard of Eric Bana now? Great actor. He was the original Incredible Hulk. Eric Bana. And Daniel Craig about the 1972 Olympics and hostage situation. Brilliant.
Got one recorded there. Daniel Craig. I think he's had mental problems and he's been inside a mental institution and gets let out into his brother's care. It's called Some Voices. And what's his name, the Scouse actor, Billy and Icky, the Irish surname, what's his name? Billy and Icky One Summer. He's in everything, the Scouse actor. His mum and dad live around here in one of the roads there. David
Morrissey,
David Morrissey. It's David Morrissey and Daniel Craig, and Craig's released into his brother's care, and it's seeing if he gets better mentally. I ain't watched it yet, but I'll probably do that one next week if that's okay.
Yeah, no, do it. I did something for Colin McHugh, and he's a producer, and he does a lot with Jimmy McGovern. When Jimmy McGovern writes a play, Jimmy's a great writer, as you know, and he produces them, like on film. He's a director, he's a producer, he does all the Liverpool films. Colin McHugh, and I did something for him about a VC. He said, will you come and film it? I said, yes, sure. So I went up, and there's David Morrissey and Ian Hart. Do you know who Ian Hart is? You're out seeing him. He's absolutely brilliant actor.
I love Ian Hart. He's in One Summer with David Morrissey, and I think the other lad who played it, he was called Spencer something. Anyway, yeah, I love One Summer.
And all he did was ask me questions. Sitting down having a cup of tea, about the history of Liverpool. Yeah. But you know that, yeah, so I told him, and he were amazed up, just nice fellas. I'll tell you the film to watch as well, and you as well, Lee. True story, by the way, this is. Two films, two true stories. Was he having some wine in there? Two true stories. Anyway, one is called Captain Corelli's Mandolin.
Oh, yeah.
Have you seen it?
Yeah, my mum lent me the book of that. My mum recommended that. My mum's good for books and films, like, sometimes. And my mum recommended Captain Corelli's Mandolin. The cat, Pippi Senior, is killed by one of the Nazis, and my mum has a bad cob on, go, read this bit. This Nazi kills the cat, because the Nazis have got Alsatians or something to keep everyone in check. And they kill the cat for a laugh, Pippi Senior, in Greece. And my mum has a bad cob on, and I read it, and I had a cob on.
Yes, watch that, it's brilliant. And Drunk Vigo. How about my guy, Harvey Elliott? I've never seen the film, actually. My guy, Harvey Elliott, is it a love story? I wonder if it's a love story. It sounds like that, doesn't it?
Sounds like
my guy, Harvey Elliott. Yeah. So we'll have a look at that as well. I mentioned that before, to be honest, Drunk.
Do you know what, Drunk? That was a great film, that, and Harvey Elliott, he done a great cameo role, didn't he, in that film last night? Great cameo role from young Harvey. I was giving him stick in the first half, but then he scored in the second half, and I was like, all is forgiven, all is forgiven.
Well, our Jean, my lovely Jean, has found it.
Cool.
She's found it, but she hasn't found the actual series. She's found my picture, because I sent her a picture of me, you see. Only joking. Anyway, glad you found it, Jean. Glad you found it.
She's a resourceful lass.
Just look at this. I want you to read this, okay? Have a look at that.
It's bass, not bass, or it's bass, not bass. Is it the fish can? Is it that shandy that you used to get in a can?
Oh, gee, I don't believe it, honestly.
Is it the musical instrument?
That's a crack of that, is it? It's bass, not bass, or bass, not bass, or bass, not bass, bass, not bass. That's just... I love other people. I love them. Dear Broderick, One Life is fantastic film, true story. Yeah, so Yeah, I was talking about Captain Corelli's mandolin. Watch it. True story. Watch it. Penelope Cruz. Mamma Mia. And John Hurt. Can't get any better than John
Love
Hurt.
John Lewis.
Fantastic. And the other one, which you'd have to watch. Funny enough, I really, I recommended, highly recommended this. Why am I doing that? I recommended this to me literature class yesterday, and it's Wind River.
Seen it?
Isn't it brilliant?
Very good, very good.
There you go. Wind River.
Takes you on a journey, that.
The Drunk Vigo says Harvey Elliott was supernatural, natural, and menacing in the second half. Mentioned it before, but get on the show tonight, Drunk.
I knew we could count on Vigos. We've seen that film.
Drunk Vigo says Liverpool is in the west of England. Yes. Are there any good Liverpool westerns? Yes.
I'll tell you a good Liverpool film, Drunk, if you want to laugh. It's called Going Off Big Time. It's like a gangsterish one with Neil Fitzmaurice, who was in Phoenix Nights and Peep Show. It's dead funny, really funny, Vigo. Check it out. It's called Going Off Big Time. And these lads start doing the doors, security, and then it morphs into a bit more and they're making money and all that, like getting up to no good. But it all goes pear-shaped in the end. There's lots of funny bits in it. There's some dead funny bits in it. Yozza Hughes, Bernard Hill, who played the captain in the Titanic, he's in it, and he's dead funny in it, mate. Dead funny.
He's me mate, Neil Fitz. And when you see the start of my show, my ordinary show, on when you see my ordinary show, you know, on a Monday, my history show, and it comes up, you see a collage of my guests that was on, and you see me standing there with Neil.
Yeah. Funny bloke, Fitzy. Funny bloke.
Second fella as well, Neil, you know. Really nice. Anyway, Gene says Sidney Poitier made a wicked cowboy. Sidney Poitier, do you know what? I've never seen him, is it?
Sidney, he was good in everything he was in. It was just his raison d'etre was to be good in every film he was in. Wasn't it? Sidney Poitier was good.
Did you ever see
In the Heat of the Night with Rod Steiger? And
no, not that. Robert Redford. What's it called? Sneakers.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Fantastic film. And Dan Aykroyd. It's a fantastic film, isn't it, Lee?
Very good film.
Ben Kingsley. Ben King. What a mega
cast. What a cast that is.
Yeah, mega. Fantastic film. Was it Sneakers? It was called Sneakers, wasn't it?
Yeah.
No, you're right there, Gene. Great actor. I'll tell you whose voice I like, though. That Morgan Freeman's. Have you seen the start of War of the Worlds with Tom Cruise? And Morgan Freeman is given the beginning, his voice. Oh, brilliant.
Yeah. He's got a voice that catches your ear, hasn't he, Morgan? You know, when he's not on screen and it's just his narration, he's got a lovely voice to catch your ear.
Well, that's why I like, the very beginning of War of the Worlds with Cruise, because of the voice. And then you see it.
Did you see March of the Penguins with Morgan Freeman's narration? The Emperor Penguins in the Antarctic. Not the, what did I call it? The Arctic. The Arctic. Yeah, the other way round, the Arctic. It's Emperor penguins in the Arctic trying to bring up their young, you know, they hatch and then they've got to walk off across like hundreds of miles of frozen tundra to the sea. Oh, it's dead good. And Morgan Freeman does the narration. It's spot on if you love animals. I love animals, me, mate.
Well, anyway, Soul Boy. Sorry, a little break, Frank. Good win last night. Is that film The Prophet? Yes. What a man. See, Soul Boy just comes on. Great red. Whatever. He'd be talking tonight, won't he? You know, he'd be commenting tonight on the football podcast. Comes out and just says, was that film The Professionals? Thank you. Soul Boy. And he also says Robert Ryan was in that as well. He was a good actor. The Professional. Yes, he was. And I'll tell you what else Robert Ryan was in. One of my favourite films, Westerns, The Wild Bunch. Have you ever heard of the actor Strother Martin? Strother Martin. He's a little fella. He was in. Did you see The Wild Bunch?
Yeah, I don't think I know him. I was thinking of Stratford Johns at first then, for some reason.
There was a fella named L.Q. Jones and Strother Martin together, and thereafter, you know, the likes of William Holden and Ernest Borgnine, along with Robert Ryan. Robert Ryan's leading them. They're trying to kill them. Oh, great actor. Great actor. The Strother Martin. Only a little grey-haired fella. Horrible he is.
My first brush with Ernest Borgnine was Airwolf when I was a kid with the helicopter. Jan Michael Vincent and Ernest Borgnine, Airwolf. There was Knight Rider and Street Hawk, but they were both rubbish. I hated Knight Rider. It was rubbish. It was dead fake. Hasselhoff can't act. The writing was bad. Everything about it was rubbish. And Street Hawk.
You know, he was just a good-looking fella, wasn't he? You know, tall, handsome, and driving this car.
Yeah.
You know, so he's so commercially, you know, because of his looks and his, you know, cool demeanor, if you know what I mean. That's sold to the young people, you know, especially the young girls, if you know what I mean. This big, handsome fella. Just like Baywatch. Come on, Baywatch. Now, why did you watch Baywatch?
I didn't.
Oh, didn't you? I did.
I have seen it, like, but I didn't watch it. Come on now.
Yeah, but the thing is, you see,
I was an adult by the time that came out.
But it was just what, see, they all sell because of the glamour. You've only got to look at that Kardashians. Well, I haven't seen them, be honest. See pictures of it.
Don't be coy with us, Frank. Don't be coy with us, Francis. We know you've got them all on DVD, every series. You said you're not into series, you'd only like a few episodes. You've got every one on DVD.
Because of you. Anyway, Spencer Lee was in One Summer. Not Spencer Lee from Radio Merseyside, says Charlie Wood.
Spencer Lee, yeah. Oh, he's brilliant as Icky. Poor old Icky.
Icky, yeah.
Goes up in a ball of smoke. Hey, have you ever heard of a Willie Russell TV play called Our Day Out? Willie Russell, Our Day Out.
Brilliant.
I was working with some lads in a factory a few years ago, and he was in it. He's got a small part in it. He's his granddad was from St. Lucia in the Caribbean, this lad I was working with. And we just got on because we're the same age, like, and he was saying he had a small role in Our Day Out, Willie Russell, because he did a bit of acting when he was a kid. And a few people I grew up with, well, one was in a thing called Dancing Through the Dark. It was a Scouse thing. And he was in it saying, "Can I mind your car, mister?" to these fellas, my mate. He's from a housing estate over that way. But he was in that. And then Spencer, who I met in work, he said he was in Willie Russell's thing with a small part. He said, "Look it up online." And I haven't found it yet. but apparently Spencer's in it, like.
Well, anyway, after Schofield says, you just reminded me, Lee, when I was a kid, movies were never ended. So you went back the next week to follow the next part. That was Saturday matinees, wasn't it? We used to do that when we were kids. We used to do that.
Because my little brother's 10 years younger than me, I used to take him the pictures a lot when he was small. You know, from when he was about the age of 6, 7, I'd take him as me big brother duty to see films. I remember going to see The Rocket Man, which was a remake of those old matinee serials. And we weren't that impressed, actually, with The Rocket Man. It was all right. It was worth seeing, but I remember I had John Paul moaning. Where his
Well,
guts
anyway, Mark Simon says, Claudia Cardinale of the famous Once Upon a Time in the West by Sergio Leone with Charles Bronson and Henry Fonda as Angel Eyes. Ennio Morricone's soundtrack is beautiful. Filmed 2 hours away from me. I know he lives in Gibraltar, Mark. Filmed 2 hours away from me.
Ennio Morricone's soundtracks were brilliant. Brilliant.
Yeah. Soul Boy. There was a film called Harvey with James Stewart about a 6-foot rabbit. It was an imaginary rabbit, black and white. I'm sorry to upset all the James Stewart fans. I couldn't stand him, man. I've seen him in Flight of the Phoenix, the original Flight of the Phoenix, with Dickie Darling Attenborough. He was in it, Richard Attenborough. And some great stalwart actors. Ronald Fraser, brilliant actor. They were in it. You know, all these. Flight of the Phoenix. Watch it if you haven't seen it, with Jimmy Stewart. And there was a fella in it called Dan Gere. And Dan Gere, you know, you mightn't recognise the name, but if you've seen his face, you go, wow. Because he always played a baddie. Fantastic. Have you seen Flight of the Phoenix, by the way?
Flight of the Phoenix. Remind me.
James Stewart. The Royal fellas. Ernest Borgnine's in it.
Oh, no, I don't know it.
And haven't you seen it? No.
No.
Anyway, it's about oil workers. And they're going from A to B. You're going back home for leave, you know. And the plane takes off in the Middle East, wherever it is in the middle, it takes off. Then all of a sudden, it's a sandstorm. Goes down. And they're stuck in the middle of the desert. Crash lands. And it's a battle of survival.
What about
have you heard of the German actor Hardy Kruger?
Oh, yeah.
He's in it. It's good. Watch it.
Do you remember Badlands with Martin Sheen and Sissy Spacek?
Yeah.
Pair of killers, pair of late teens. I think Martin Sheen's meant to be in his early 20s and Sissy Spacek's about 17 in it. And they run away together, don't they, and start shooting people up.
Flight to the Phoenix. Anyway. Drunk Vigo, did you ever watch Coherence? It's about some friends having a dinner. Coherence, yes, very, very good. Drunk Vigo, yes, Coherence. Very, very good. About friends having a dinner party. Yes. Like a parallel world. Colliding. Yes, very good. I like films like that. I'm being honest, I like films. If you're into the sci-fi genre, there's a film, and it's a cracking little film. Really, really good. I think it was made in 2014, and it's called Extraterrestrial. Drunk Vigo's come out there, Lee, and he says, "Have you watched? Have you watched Coherence?" It's a cracking film. It's about some friends having a dinner party while a comet passes the Earth. Watch it. It's brilliant. I've recorded it. I've watched it, I've seen it, but you know the way you save films, I've got that one. Along with The Wild Bunch, might I add. And The Outsider. Jane, I've got The Outsider all day for you, ready to watch. I've seen Going Off Big Time, says Charlie.
Where he kidnapped Bernard Hill.
And as our Gene says, Morgan has a sexy voice, captivating. Hang on, I'll put me Morgan Freeman voice on for you, Gene.
It lends itself to your ear easily, doesn't it, Morgan's voice?
Yes. Yes. Wasn't Sydney a teacher in Blackboard Jungle? No, he was a teacher in Guess Who's Coming to Dinner. He's talking about Sidney Poitier. Blackboard Jungle's Glenn Ford. Glenn Ford. Mark Simon's Cross of Iron, brilliant film. Brilliant film. World War II, James Coburn, Maximilian Schell, and James Mason. Yes. Excellent film. One of the best, actually. So
I like Maximilian Schell.
Yeah, Schell. Ernesto Bernini. Now, what did I say about him to you? Ernest Borgnine.
About him being a great character actor or something.
Well, it was. I don't know whether you were watching. I don't know. I might have told you. I don't know. Ernest Borgnine was a Sicilian. His name is Ernesto Bernini. Sicilian.
No way. I never knew that.
Oh, so you don't know this then, do you?
Do I?
And what I'm going to tell you, you're going to go, what? This is why I wanted to do a certain documentary, and I'm going to do it this summer. By the way, I'm going to do it. And Ernest Borgnine, or Ernesto Bernini, came over with his family. He was only a little boy, Sicilian, because a lot of our southern Italians came over. He came from Sicily, as I said, because of the drought and everything else. And it was a horrible time in southern Italy.
Very hard.
The north was good because of the industrialization of it. That was good. People were working, and there was rainfall as well. But southern Italy, oh, shocking. Suffered drought, crops failed, everything. Been going on for years. Anyway, they decided to emigrate over to America, and Liverpool was the gateway. The gateway to the new world, which the new world was America. And he came to...
Sorry.
Go on, what was you got? You're down to say something, so say it before.
A different set of circumstances what made the poverty in southern Italy, but it's a bit like England, but the other way around. It's the south that does all right in England, and the north that's ignored. Yeah.
But it's like in the States as well. You've got a north and south divide, but you've got an east and west culture as well in the States. North and south and east and west, different cultures. Anyway, they come over from Sicily on the way to America, get to Liverpool. Now, the poor families, and they didn't learn English or French or Spanish or German or whatever, any Slav languages. They just spoke Italian. So he gets here, a little kid with his parents, and there was a 6-month waiting list in Liverpool to get on a boat, passenger. 6 months. Like my family, there was a 6-month waiting list, and half of them went over to New York. The other half, which is my mother's side, my grandparents' side, along with their siblings, well, they said, well, we can't go because there's a 6-month waiting list. And they decided to work. You'd have to work to survive. So they worked. And they liked it that much that they stayed here in England, in Liverpool. Ernest Borgnine, or Ernesto Borgnine, and his family wanted them educated. Not only wanted them educated, they were going to the New Wales where they only spoke English. Inglese, right? So what did they do? They brought him to a school, and they asked if they could put him in there. A Catholic school named St. Francis Xavier's. And he went in there, and he learned his English language. Little Ernesto Borgnine, he learned the English language in St. Francis Xavier's School in Salisbury Street, Liverpool. It's now a university. I used to work there. I used to lecture there. Did you know that? Has that surprised you?
Yeah. Famous school. Pardon me.
Jean says, I busted my head open as copying the professionals. Bodie and Doyle. Yeah, Bodie and Doyle, let's go. Yeah. Well, you're all right, Jean. Busted my head open. Bodie and Doyle. I don't think he meant that profession, so Jane, I don't think he meant that profession.
That was the one I thought of. That's the one from my childhood.
No, the professionals was with Lee Marvin and, as I was saying, Burt Lancaster and Woody Strode, people like that. That was I never liked it. The professionals with Bodie and Doyle
yeah, Gordon Jackson was quite good as Cowley.
Yeah.
I liked him.
But Lewis Collins, do you reckon he should have been at James Bond? Nah.
He was interviewed for Bond, Lewis Collins.
He only came from Birkenhead.
Oh, well, yeah.
I used to watch him at the Iron Door when he was in the Mojos.
Yeah.
Not that I knew him, if you know what I mean. I didn't know. Charlie Wood says, was in Marty. He was a great actor. He won, thank you, because he won an Oscar in Marty. I think it was in 57 or 58, Charlie. And think about it. Learns his language, English language, here in Liverpool, St. Francis's. And he won an Oscar. And also, do you know who else came to this? He went to the same school. And he learnt his language there.
You did tell me. You told me last week or the week before, and I forgot.
Well, anyway, it was Al Jolson.
I don't know. You never told me. You told me it's someone else, I think, as well, that went to Francis Xavier.
But anyway, yeah. And to think that the very first lines ever said on film was, "You ain't seen nothing yet." And he learnt his language in Liverpool.
I like Sonny Boy by Al Jolson. Sonny Boy. Climb upon my knee, Sonny Boy. Although you're only 3, Sonny Boy. Lovely, lovely song.
And now Gene says, Frank watch Baywatch cause of Pamela. There was a girl in it, you know, named Jasmine Bleeth.
Oh, yeah.
Have you seen her today?
No, she's dead thin.
What?
She put weight on finally.
It's not only that. Ah, shocking. Shocking. Have you seen Did you ever remember until he reminds myself there of Jimmy Clitheroe?
Yeah,
Oh, did you see Tim Holly, that Jimmy Clitheroe?
Yeah.
They wouldn't know anyway. But just anyway, Frank watch Baywatch because of Pamela. Yes. No, I was going to say, have you ever seen a picture of do you know Bridget Fonda? Bridget Fonda.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful, stunning lady. You want to see it today. Unrecognizable. Honestly, Lee. Unrecognizable. And our lovely Jean, did you watch the show Limitless? Is that a film? Is that a film of what? Limitless, yeah.
There is a film, yeah, with
Robert De Niro
and Bradley Cooper. Bradley Cooper takes the pill to be clever, and he tries to do limitless things.
Did you know, she carries on by saying, there's an actual tablet that does that? NZT 48. It could be getting mixed. I wonder. Soulboy says, the classic war film Heroes of Telmark with Burke Douglas and Richard Harris. Yes. A true story, by the way. And without without those lads, those actual heroes with the heavy water, the Germans would have had a bomb.
Aye.
A big bomb. And they would have just threatened the whole of Europe.
I think things would have been
different. Like the Americans threatened. Who are the only? What's the only country ever to drop weapons of mass destruction?
America.
Yes. On Japan.
Yeah.
They only wanted to try us out. They only wanted to try us out.
Russia tried theirs. Like America and Russia tried theirs, didn't they, in the South Pacific? And Russia tried them in remote parts of Russia because Russia's a lot bigger. But yeah.
Well, they destroyed coral reefs. The French did it. The Brits did it. We did it, didn't we? And now the Yanks are saying, because of this SMO over there in Ukraine, the Yanks are saying, you've got to have these nuclear weapons now, Britain. What for? What for, Mr. America? Fools. What do we want big nukes for? Do you know during the Cold War, what area was the blackest spot in Europe? Tell me. Tell me.
The blackest spot in Europe.
During the Cold, you know what I mean about the blackest spot, by the way.
No, not.
I'm sorry, then I'll be more clearer. The blackest spot meant where nukes would have fell upon.
Okay. So London.
Oh. The blackest spot. Why London?
Why not London?
Nothing there in London. Except where, Parliament. Yeah, he could give you that, war there, cabinet. Liverpool. Did you know that? Do you know why Liverpool? Shall I tell you why? Because you had all the nuclear things coming into Liverpool. All the stuff to make these nuclear bombs, missiles, whatever they're called. All that was coming into Liverpool, including missiles themselves to go to the silos up and down the country. Liverpool would have been hit. It was the blackest spot of Europe, Liverpool. And I would have come on Radio Merseyside or my channel, and I'll go, Lee, we've got to tell the people, there's 3 minutes to go before we all say goodbye.
Remember the beginning of Two Tribes by Frankie Goes to Hollywood? This is a warning.
Well, you think about it, it's like that today. America has always hated Russia. Always hated Russia and the Russian people. Do you ever remember 1980 Olympics and they pulled out? It was in Moscow.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying it was just because of that. We're not going there. They pulled out of Sochi, didn't they, a couple of years ago? He pulled out. Do you ever remember the G8?
Mm-hmm.
The G8, every year they met. And who belonged in the G8? Russia belonged. Then they got rid of Russia for some unknown reason. Now it's called the G7.
America needs allies to defeat Russia. They could never have done it.
No,
they never would. Never. I mean, one of the things I think some Americans don't like about Russia is it makes America look as small as the UK. America's tiny compared. America's not, and it's a tiny little country, an insignificant spot of land compared to
the
Russia.
Americans, you ever remember that America went into Somalia a few years ago, and the Somalians chased them out.
Yeah. I think you could fit America into Siberia about 10 times over, and that's just Siberia.
No, you
I don't
couldn't.
think some Americans like that.
America's
They like to
vast.
think of themselves as a big country. And you go,
America's vast. America's vast.
yeah, it's big, but it's nothing compared to Russia size-wise, is it? It's tiny compared to Russia size-wise.
Canada's a massive country as well.
Russia has about 100 different ethnic groups, roughly 100 different ethnic groups in Russia.
Yes, no, I agree. Right, Charlie, to say with love, Sidney Poitier plays a teacher. Yes. Is my guy Mario from Sicily? No, he isn't. Mario, believe it or not, is a Bulgarian drunk. He's a Bulgarian, but he went to live in Italy. Drunk says Frank Carlyle is the godfather.
Talking of the Godfather, and you mentioned Richard III before. Did you see Pacino's Looking for Richard all them years ago?
Brilliant. Hyde in Central Park. He was in. Was he going up the streets of?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, I remember that. That was fantastic. Have you ever seen him in The Merchant of Venice?
Yeah, he plays. Don't say it. He plays Prospero.
No, he plays Shylock.
No, sorry. He plays
Shylock.
Prospero. Shylock. Yeah, plays Shylock.
Brilliant.
When he talks about a pound of flesh.
Yeah, I will take a pound of flesh. I will take a pound of flesh. To Antonio. See, who was the Merchant of Venice? Who was it? Who was it, Lee?
Sorry.
Who was the Merchant of Venice? Who was he? No, that's where people fall down. It was Antonio. He was the merchant.
Oh, yeah.
Shylock was the moneylender, but a beautiful daughter. Like Jean, like our Jean, beautiful daughter. I know that's what came to my mind. I was only a munchkin. Oh, that's the professionals, isn't it? I was only a munchkin. That's a great word, man. I love that terminology, munchkin. And Gordon Jackson, or Gorgon, yeah, he used to get killed off in every film. He got on my nerves, in the old black and white films, what you see for nostalgia and, propaganda, especially war ones. He's always, hello, that Scottish accent. Charlie Woods, Alf all backwards.
Alfalfa.
That's the one, Lee. Whatever you saw. When you mentioned Jimmy Clitheroe, reminded me about Liverpool actor Derek. Brilliant. Who was also in police. His dad had a jewellery shop in London. Yes, he did. He certainly did. What a voice.
On the face.
Derek Carlyle. What a voice. And Charlie Wood says the bomb would fall in English Liverpool. And our lovely Jean, wow. Yes, Jean, Liverpool was the blackest spot in Europe. We'd have all been gone, except our new stand. Still haven't finished our new stand. They still need cladding and everything. Shocking.
Hey, Frank, I was reading I was reading a book the other day. I went in the bookshop by mine, and I had to kill some time because the shops weren't open. It was the only shop open, the bookshop. I was reading about Liverpool during the Blitz. 1,500 people were killed in 1 week in Liverpool in the Blitz. 1,500 people, and about 4,000 were severely injured in just 1 week by the Nazis. No wonder my granddad George changed the way we spelled our surname, even though it's Swedish and not German. But he's changed the spelling because he didn't want to smash windows. That's what happens when you're at war and your name sounds like
listen. You want to listen to my history show? You know, I talk about things like that. I talk about heroes of Liverpool in wars. Deceased Victoria Cross holders. Oh.
Excellent. The old VC.
Yeah, I'll take it out to show you properly. You see, I talk about. You want to listen to it? If you like history.
No, I wasn't on this Monday because I've been busy trying to get a flat swap.
My show's been going for years.
I know that. I was on last Monday, not this one.
No, but I've spoken about the May Blitz. I gave a talk. It was on the 70th anniversary of the May Blitz here in Liverpool, and they had a big thing in Church Street. And they had all dignitaries, you know, MPs, people from the entertainment business. You had all veterans. There was veterans sitting there, and do you know what they were? A few of them were from Chindits, old Wingates Chindits, the Burmese lads. They weren't Burmese, you know, they were English, they were Liverpool lads, but they were in Wingate, they were part of the Wingates Chindits in Burma fighting the Japanese. They were all sitting there. And I got up. And they asked me to give a talk. And I gave a talk about it. In Church Street, should have seen it. All the shoppers, you know, they were all stopped, they were all listening, and because it was all roped off, you know, where the dignitaries were sitting. And there was a certain MP, horrible she was, just didn't want to know. She's not from Liverpool, but she was an MP for Liverpool, and the people got rid of her. Horrible she was, just a horrible person. I went up to speak to her. Oh, I've got no time. I'll tell you privately who it was.
This is a modern politician.
Oh, yeah. I've got the 70th anniversary, of course, you know. So she must be a modern. But her constituents got shut of her. Horrible. She just didn't want to be there. She was trying to get away. And all I was going to say to her was, why do you want to go away? Why don't you stay with all these lovely people? And MPs as well. He was like, the fellow MPs just wanted to get away. Boring, you know, if you know what I mean.
Boring?
Yeah, and it must have been boring to her. So, you know, you didn't know the history of Liverpool, didn't know what we suffered. And Liverpool never gets mentioned. You're very lucky that you actually read something about Liverpool in that particular book that you said you picked up, Lee. And Charlie Woods, and this absolutely true. And it's even today, Charlie. It's even today. Remember the pamphlets telling people to take the doors off? Apparently, they were supposed to stop radiation. And the blast is supposed to stop the blast as well, Charlie. Well, it was to get, in all honesty, they knew that, you know, we weren't soft. We were, you know, we're not thick as people, some people think we're thick, you know, the ordinary people, that is.
Oh, they don't half think that.
They think that the ordinary people are thick up and down the country, right? You know, thick. Take a door off and put a door, you know, against the wall and sit behind it like that. Put a blanket around you. There's an animated film was done in the 80s. Fantastic. Fantastic. And you see the old fella, old elderly couple, and he's saying, don't worry, dear, we'll take the door off and we'll put it against the wall and we sit inside it. That should save us. I forget what it was called.
When the wind blows.
Sorry?
When the wind blows, the animation about the nuclear bomb, the old couple, and they get under the door, they make a thing against the wall.
That's it, mate.
Yeah, very sad, very melancholy.
Oh, very poignant indeed, yeah.
Dying from radiation poison.
But there was one where there was another film with Jason Robards. And that, I think that was done in the 80s as well. Jason Robards. And that was very good. He was a doctor and he just goes to the hospital, you know, doing his doctor's work in the hospital, or surgeon, whatever he was. And then all of a sudden you see him driving home. I think I'm remembering correctly, but it was definitely Jason Robards. And if anyone can remember that title with Jason Robards, you see him, he stops us. I'm just trying to remember. And all of a sudden, he's looking at the sky, and you don't see the missile itself, but you see the trails. You know, in the distance.
Yeah.
And you just see like a plume.
Mm-hmm.
Very good. Very good. And the way our American friends are carrying on and what the Third World War with Russia and America and China and everywhere else. You've got a lot worse than that to come, fellas. And Soulboy says, do you think most of these Oscar-winning films now are weird? Yeah, they pick. I'm looking forward to seeing the new Bob Marley One Day Love, though. Yes.
As long as they do justice, like, and it isn't rubbish, I'll be pleased. If it's a good film, I'll be pleased. If it isn't that good, I won't be pleased.
I saw that cartoon about the Doors, When the Wind Blows.
Very sad,
Says Charlie.
Mm-hmm.
You see, you've got these films. I don't know why we're talking about them actually, but you always have. Do you know what? You never. How can I say this? Do you know that all parts of history is written by the victors? It's written by the victors. You know, that particular country that's won a battle, or you know, won a war, whatever, any country. So if you're reading something, you're reading a lot of propaganda. You're reading a lot. Do Do you know the two world wars? Hey, what countries declared war on who in the two world wars?
First World War, it was the assassination of Archduke Franz von Ferdinand, wasn't it? And it was Serbians who did it. So the Turks were in Serbia then, weren't they? The Ottoman Turks had invaded and colonized Eastern Europe, like Serbia and that, which we saw unravel when Yugoslavia fell apart and they all came apart. They weren't that pleased with it weren't just them. They weren't just fighting them, but you know what I mean.
Well, it was Gavrilo Princip, a student, 21-year-old student. He tried 3 times to kill him, and he got him on the 3rd time. Anyway, and his wife Sophia.
He was hated. Heydrich was hated, wasn't he?
No, that's the second.
Oh, sorry, no, I'm talking about Franz Ferdinand, but Heydrich got it. Didn't Heydrich get killed?
Yeah,
like,
Reinhard Heydrich.
Yeah. Who killed Heydrich?
Yeah. Sorry.
Who killed Heydrich? I've forgotten. What was the nationality of the
three lads from Prague. And they were recruited. By the British intelligence students. I can't pronounce the names, but they went and they assassinated him. But they didn't really assassinate him because they threw a grenade. One of them threw a grenade in, and it was the horsehair that killed him. Horsehair went into his wounds, and after a few days, as he was being treated, blood poisoned his bloodstream.
Good. As far as Nazis go, Reinhard Heydrich was one evil man, and that's even for a head Nazi. He was horrible. I read a book about him once when I was about 21 about Heydrich, and he was a nasty, nasty piece of work mentally. I think he'd always been like that. I don't think it was something that happened to him as an adult. I think he was born bad. He was just a nasty piece of work, Reinhard Heydrich.
Well, do you know if he would have survived, or he wouldn't have been assassinated? One thing that wouldn't have happened, and I could be talking to you in German, and do you know what he wouldn't have done? He was Hitler's blue eye, and Hitler took notice of him all the time. You know that. Never mind his other generals. He was the main boy. Was Reinhard Heydrich. And he was going to go to Germany, back to Berlin, I'm sorry, to tell Hitler not to go into Russia. Take Britain. Just take them. They're nothing. Just take them. That's what he was going to say. And he would have took us. We were marching around Cornwall and Devon and Kent and Sussex and everywhere else. Our own guard with little poles, mop handles.
The Americans hadn't joined the war, had they, at that stage? So
no.
What were we going to do on our own?
The Yanks would have been, that would have been the end of the Yanks. They would have just stayed where they were. They would never have come over to Europe because Germany would have controlled Europe. They would have just been fighting on their own. The Japanese.
Have you ever read Breakfast?
There was a shit. I'll give you an idea of the Americans. There was a big battleship called the Tekau in Singapore Harbour. And when the Yanks were coming over, they always, sending their troops, to all these little islands. So the Tekau used to just sail out. and the Yanks, pedaled back, or ships were destroyed. They did know how to handle the Tikal. They just didn't know how to handle it. And they said to the British, can you help us? We were already their allies anyway, fighting the Japanese. And we sent in a mini sub with Lieutenant Commander Ian Fraser and another fella by the name of McGuinness, an able seaman. And they go under, gets to Singapore Harbour, and there's, the booms, where they won't allow ships in or out, and they drop the boom, right? They drop the boom to let ships out. I'm talking about Singapore Harbour here. So if they wanted to go on patrol, they drop the boom and go out patrolling, the Japanese, and then back again, the boom goes up. If the Tikal or another battleship or whatever wanted to come out, they drop the boom. You know what a boom is?
The sound thing to
locate. No, it's a massive net.
Mm-hmm.
You've seen films, haven't you, where you see submarines, hitting the net and that? Or have you? No. Yeah. Well, anyway, it's a massive boom. It's a big, massive net where, if you try to get through, your propellers are just, and you're stuck there like a duck floundering. So anyway, they waited for the boom. They was, a periscope. And they waited for these patrol ships, these like fast things coming out. So they were waiting for them, so the boom drops. So as the boom dropped, they went in. And there's the Tikal. And the mini sub went underneath it. And the tide went out. So what had happened, they had to do the job. And as the tide went out, it stopped. And they were stuck. They were actually stuck. So they said, we'd have to get out to do this. So McGuinness, he got out and he was putting the limpet mines on the Tikal, all these limpet mines. And they said, now, some of them wouldn't stick. And I'm interviewing Lieutenant Commander Ian Fraser, and he told me all about it. He said, and we heard a terrible racket in the sub because what McGuinness was doing, he was banging it with a big mallet, a big spanner, like a wrench. Yeah. And he's trying to stick it on, but anyway. He got back in, he said, and he said, all right, lads, he said, this is Lieutenant Commander Ian Fraser saying to them, he said, okay, lads, what you'll have to do now is write out, your letters, your last letters, and will, if you want to leave something to you, whoever. And they put them in, they wrote them out, and they put them in waterproof things, just in case, because they couldn't move. And by a fate of luck, the tide came in. The tide, came in rather than out, and it lifted the Tikal, and it got away. The mini sub. Anyway, back in Australia, get right there. What had happened was, it was a very successful raid because they blew up the Tikal. They blew it up. And the Americans were absolutely made up. And Lieutenant Commander Ian Fraser won a Victoria Cross. At the time,
I can still hear you.
He was the only living naval VC at the time I was interviewing him. What a man, what a story. But what he told me about McGuinness, now McGuinness was an Irishman, and it was hard to believe what he was saying, but obviously it must have been true. Now McGuinness had to go and live in Yorkshire under a pseudonym because both paramilitaries in Ireland wanted to kill him. One was the IRA because he did join the British Army, and the other was the UDF or the IDF or someone like that, because he was Catholic. Anyway, he went to live in Yorkshire, lived out his life, but he was a VC winner, was McGuinness, Abel Seaman McGuinness. So how about that story?
That's a great one. I can hear you from when I get to the toilet or the kitchen. I can hear you loud and clear, so I never miss nothing. Like, no, it's a good story, that means.
RGN says, Frank, the Bob Marley movie is meant to be good, though the Jamaicans feel the family sold him out and didn't tell her. Gene, it happens all the time, sweetheart. It really does, because no matter how, look, the film people are very powerful people. And they just say, this is what you want to do. This is it. This is how we're going to put it.
This is how we want it.
Yes. Whether it's for dramatic purposes or what, I don't know. Right? So the real story never gets said, unfortunately. Really doesn't. Yeah, well, everyone who I see it was good. Nelson was brought up in Gibraltar in a barrel of rum. Yes.
Brought in
a barrel of rum. No,
well, he fit, wouldn't he?
He was sent back pickled. And, you know, I'll tell you something here as well. Tell you another one. Do you know when you see the portrait? You've seen a portrait where he's like that on the deck of the ship. You must have seen portraits of him.
Yes, Kiss Me Hardy, the thing that he never said. Yeah. Sorry, I thought you were asking, I thought it was rhetorical and you were waiting for someone to
No. I said you see him. And you see him like that, don't you? Who's kneeling next to him on his left-hand side? Who's kneeling? Oh, you must know.
Hardy?
Yes, thank you. It's Hardy. Okay? Hardy. What about the other fella who was kneeling next to him? Because there's two, isn't it? There's two people, two captains. Have you any idea who that is?
I've forgotten. I've gone and forgotten that one.
Shall I tell you who it is? He's a Liverpool sea captain named John Oliver.
Nice.
John Oliver, right? And John Oliver said to him when he said, listen, lads, I'm going up on deck. And he said, don't stay here. He said, no, I want to show that I'm here. I want to show that I'm with the lads. And he said, you know, there was no talking him out of it, no talking Nelson out of it. And he said, look, this is John Oliver. He said, whatever you do, if you're going to go up on the bridge, don't wear your medals. Because I don't know whether you're aware of this, both the French and everybody else, to be honest, and the British, do you know the crow's nest? What do you think the crow's nest was for?
Lookout. Spy land, see other ships.
Yes, excellent. You know, and any debris in the water. Right.
Been up in the crow's nest, mate. The SS Winston Churchill. It was a free trip with the Prince's Trust. We went on a boat. I told you about it the other week, but yeah, I went in the crow's nest as many times as I could, you know, to see the view and that. I remember trying to see France. When we got near France, I was like, they give me binoculars and I was like, yeah, I can see it, lad, I can see it, buzzing.
Right, so, but it wasn't only for that as well. It was for snipers. Did you know that?
Not so
snipers.
much.
Yeah, well, it was used. Snipers used to get in there because they looked down, you see. And what you had these snipers, and this is what Oliver said: do not wear your medals because you've got them snipers up there. And he said, no, I want them to recognize me. I want my men to recognize me. So anyway, he said, okay, he goes up. And bang, bang, he gets killed. But he doesn't get killed right away. And he dies. And he doesn't say, kiss me, Hardy. He doesn't say that. He says, Kismet. Could you imagine him saying, kiss me, Hardy?
Not really, no.
All them sailors going, hang on, what's going on between Hardy and him? You couldn't say.
Yeah, I've got to say, as much as I might have liked me junior officers, as if I was Nelson, I wouldn't have been wanting one of them to kiss me right before I died, especially if he hadn't shaved.
And in front of the men.
Yeah. What's the last?
But anyway, Hardy went to America. Did you know that? When his sailing days were over. And his offspring has a son. And, very proud of of his granddad's sea thing, the history of the sea and, creating the British, and with Nelson as well. Kneeling next to Nelson and his death throes. And he names one of his sons after John Oliver. And there you have
Oliver Hardy.
Yes. He went to become one of the greatest comedy acts of all time. Laurel and Hardy.
He was known as Babe, wasn't he? Oliver Hardy. His nickname was Babe, because he was like chubby, fat, cute face when he was a baby, big pudding, and they called him Babe. And he used to sing and that, didn't he, and dance on stage when he was a little boy.
Yeah, as a child, yeah. But do you know John Oliver died when do you know how old he was when he died? 101.
All right.
And do you know where he's buried? He's buried in St. James's Cemetery. St. James's Cemetery.
Okay. That's good.
How about that?
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, John Oliver. Yeah. When I brought people out, I've shown them the grave. And do you know who else is buried there? Have you ever heard of Captain Webb?
Mm-hmm.
What did he do?
Pirate.
And don't you knock it all back amongst you. Now, Captain Webb swam the channel. Captain Webb was the first man to swim the English Channel. Did you know that?
No, I didn't know that.
I thought you wasn't on that.
No.
seeing that you love history and things like that.
Oh, you're a valuable source of info, Francis. You're a valuable source of info, my man. Sorry I
That's
wasn't
really,
on your history one on Monday. I've been a bit busy. I've been out this morning before the stream. I rushed out at 8:30. I'm trying to see if I can get a move. I want a smaller flat, but I couldn't get to
really.
speak to anyone. Yeah, you have to do everything online. I naively thought if I went into one of the
Yeah, you
places,
go down and show your face. Yeah,
yeah,
that's what
no,
you
no
expect.
joy. I wasted my time. I wasted an hour of this morning from 8:30 to 9:45 doing that crap, and it was a waste of time.
Did you watch the match last night, by the way?
Oh, I sure did, but not live.
Right. Frank Carlyle says, lovely G. Thank you, gents. I've got to go. Have a brilliant afternoon. Everyone will see you later, Frank. Thank you. 100%.
Thanks, Gene.
Thank you,
See you.
Jane. Love you so, honestly. You do. We love you. And Charlie says, every time I look at that screen, I see Lee's chair. Yes, you do.
It's the excessive drinking of water makes me have to visit the little boy's room and micturate into the water closet a few times. I won't use the vulgar word like any other words. I'll say micturate, and it's
Why don't
definitely
you
not.
just say Lou? I say Lou.
Yeah, well, water closet, Lou.
Yeah,
Micturate just means
that's what it is.
urinate.
Water
Pee.
closet. But
Micturate.
mind you, have you got, see, if you always said water closet, someone will go like that when you're coming back in, or he's come out of the closet. He's come out the closet. That was a mad scene. Yeah, Arthur Schofield, Bryant and May as a matchbox depicting Webb, and you're so right.
Oh, mate, was that him? Was it on the matchbox going with the stripy vest on, going with a moustache? Was that Captain Webb?
Yeah.
There you go.
My
Brilliant,
grand,
Arthur, brilliant.
my grandmother used to say a poem about him, you know. And she used to say, Captain Webb swam the channel, knocked his thing against the rock, and his things began to rattle. I'm not going to mention. I used to go, that's terrible to say things like that. That's what she used to say. Captain Webb swam the channel, knocked his thing against his rock, and his things began to rattle.
Yeah, I remember that matchbox, Brighton, mate. He's got like a striped swimming vest on, and he's got a Victorian muzzy, and he's
Yeah, a
swimming
big one like that, yeah. Big curly one, a big Hercule Poirot moustache. Well, Lee, we'll end it there
Okay, mate.
on my grandmother's poem, Little Titty. And I'll see you tonight.
Will do, mate. Yeah, I enjoyed it this morning. It was good this morning. As a good old natter about. We took it everywhere this morning, didn't we? War, then nuclear war, surviving the nuclear war, films, comedy, history, books. We had a little dip at everything, didn't we, this morning?
Do you know what comedy you want to watch?
Well,
one of my favourites. But the first three series, that's all. The first three series. Plebs. You ever watch it?
No, I haven't seen it yet, but you told me.
Watch the first three series, Lee. You will love it.
Yeah.
You will love it. If you love the In-Betweeners, you'd love this. And
Well,
it's about...
I've got a Roman one, a series. It's called Domina. It's a female, and have you heard of it? A Roman series. It's on Sky. Domina. I think there's 2 series I've recorded, but I ain't looked at it yet. But it's set in Rome, like in the skullduggery of political Rome, And
Well, yeah. Well, have you seen the series role with Kieran Hines?
no, I haven't seen that
Oh,
either.
haven't you seen it?
No, like Kieran Hines, though, he's a top actor, isn't he?
Brilliant it is.
Yeah.
It's brilliant. And really, you know me about history. I don't like anything phony.
Yeah.
I'm being honest. It's like what Jean said as well, like what she said about Bob Marley.
Mm.
And they're not given the true story of him, his family have gone, It's like that. It really is like that. And what you've got, Rome, it's everything. And what I've seen, is based on true historical events. Absolutely brilliant. Really brilliant. And what's his name? He only died this year. Or Ray Stevenson. Now Ray Stevenson plays one of the, a Roman, one of these, not a gladiator, but a Roman soldier, and he's brilliant in it. And he died. He's only 53. Died a few months ago, a couple of months ago. Anyway, thanks, Lee.
Cheers, mate.
See you tonight.
See you tonight, yeah.
Looking
Top of
forward
the
to
league
it.
still.
Looking forward to it.
Definitely, mate.
And just want to thank you. I want to thank everybody for joining us today. I really appreciate it. And as Charlie would say, I love that. Oliver and Ozzy, I'm not having that. Have it, please, Charlie. It's true. And Brian May and a matchbox depicting, yes. And Charlie, I was thinking about Rome. It was a good series. Kevin McKidd. It is a really, honestly, try and catch hold of it.
It was recommended to me in the pub by an old fella who's about, I don't know, Joey's about late 70s, Joe is, and he recommended it to me, Rome, but I haven't took him up on it. This was about 5-6 years ago he recommended it, Joe.
Oh, just watch it. But just watch it. I used to have the DVD box set. I had them all. I actually bought the box set.
Yeah.
And when DVDs went, gave them away. Gave them away when I was giving me.
I love political intrigue, and that's Italy for you. That's why Shakespeare set so many of his best plays in Italy, because of the political intrigue and that. It was just it puts other European countries to shame, the political intrigue in Italy, don't it?
Othello. But anyway, that's me done, and I shall see you tonight. I want to thank everybody who's taken part, and really thank you so much. I've got more likes today on here than I do get from the football show.
Yeah, Simon Bird's film is good. Days of the Bagnalled Summer. I like Cy Bird. Obviously, he's a funny guy, but it's a nice coming of age comedy. Heavy metal loving teenager, sent to live with his mum. His mum and dad were split up, and it's a charming little wistful tale that I enjoyed very much.
And as Arthur Schofield says, a pleasure taking it in. Take care, fellas. Thank you so much, Arthur. And as I said, the 3 films I recommended was Wind River. I forget the other one. Wind River, Captain Corelli's Mandolin.
The Wild Ones.
The TV series, The Outsider. What was the other one I recommended? I forget it. Anyway, but, just have a look at them. Just try and have a look at them. Fantastic films and a fantastic series. And I'll see you tonight. See you tonight, everybody, all you wonderful Reds out there. Thank you so much, and see you later.
See you after, guys.